Y'all, when I tell you that it is difficult trying to communicate with somebody who is schizophrenic and double minded, it is very difficult trying to communicate with somebody who struggles like this. As I continue to go up against the spirit of schizophrenia and double mindedness within my property manager, the Holy Spirit gave me something, right? He revealed something to me. He said, understand that people like this, their minds, their brains are wired to hear and see things that are non existent. And when you are communicating with someone who's in an episode or in denial about their mental illness or not seeking treatment, it's going to be hard trying to get them to separate the hallucinations from reality. And guys, I'm having that issue with my property manager. I kid you not. And I'm not having this issue because of the situation with my drug addict neighbor. I'm not having this issue with her because of that. This is really something that the Holy Spirit alerted me to, okay? And when I first met her, I always knew that something was off about her. I thought it was autism. And I'm one of those people who tries to treat people with kindness and respect, regardless of their differences. But guys, schizophrenia and double-mindedness, it's not just a mental disorder, it's spiritual torment. People who have schizophrenia and double-mindedness, they're tormented with all kinds of demons, okay? They need deliverance. And the Holy Spirit was just revealing this latest issue to me. And he was like, you're not going to be able to deal with the issues with your drug addict neighbor through her because she's in need of deliverance. And I believe that this is something that may even be hereditary, because as I was contending with the Holy Spirit in prayer, he showed me the movie, The Secrets She Kept. I believe that's what it's called. And Kyla Pratt stars in this movie. And for those of you who have seen that movie, Kyla Pratt was an attorney, right? She was a high-end attorney. She was running a campaign. She was educated. She was wealthy. She was due to be engaged, okay? And she had a pretty established lifestyle. But however, things began to unravel when she stopped her treatments or when she couldn't be consistent in her mental health care, because she was running a campaign, she was trying to do so much and she wasn't really taking care of herself, right? And things began to unravel around her, and her fiance didn't know that she had this mental illness. And things started to happen where he realized, okay, something is really off about her. He always knew that something was off about her, but he just chopped it up to her lifestyle, her busy, stressful lifestyle as a high-end attorney, right? But she started doing things that caused him to be arrested. In her mind, she believed that her husband had negative ulterior motives toward her. He was going to try to hurt her, and she had this man arrested. And to make matters worse, she had a narcissistic mother that pretty much coddled her mental illness. Okay, she was an enabler to her mental illness. And, they were attacking this man. They were taking this man through hell. The man got arrested, and it was just so much, right? This girl had a mental break from the pits of hell, and causing the fiance to have to seek counseling and educate himself and figure out what was wrong with her. Well, after educating himself and doing some digging into her family background, he realizes that she's schizophrenic, and not only that, but it's hereditary. She had a grandfather who had the same thing. He had schizophrenia. He was also an attorney, a high-end attorney, a well-known attorney like her. Her name was Tia in the movie. And eventually he had a psychotic break that caused him to drive himself off of a cliff and commit suicide. And in the movie, toward the end of the movie, Tia, or Kyla Pratt, has a mental break that causes her to drive to the place that her grandfather committed suicide and she was going to drive herself off the cliff and kill herself. So when the Holy Spirit showed me this movie, I just kept hearing hereditary, hereditary. And I was like, I wonder if what she's dealing with, my property manager, the schizophrenia and double-mindedness, I wonder if it's hereditary, because in a conversation with her, she pointed out some things to me concerning her son. She has an older son. I believe he might be like around 20, right? And she said that he was autistic and he was in college, and he goes to college in South Carolina. And she expressed how she was afraid that one day, you know, him being a black boy, right, with this issue, she was afraid that one day he would get pulled over and it could get ugly. And as she was talking to me, explaining this to me about her son, I just kept hearing hereditary, hereditary. So I believe that the schizophrenia that my property manager is dealing with is hereditary from somebody in her family to her and to her son. She was also telling me unprovoked some things about her personal life. And she was saying how, you know, certain things happened to her. And I kept hearing the Holy Spirit say, false. That's not a reality. That's all I kept hearing the Holy Spirit say. False. That's not a reality. False. That's not a reality. And I was like, what in the world? What is the Holy Spirit trying to reveal to me about this woman? And then that's when I ended up getting the warning that I was going to see a shift in her communication, her attitude, and, you know, different things. And guys, it has been difficult for me. It has been difficult. Not only do I have to deal with a drug addicted neighbor that's disturbing my peace, but I'm about to check her, okay, in the spirit. But I have to deal with a property manager who's schizophrenic. And I'm anointed to go up against these battles. I understand this at a deeper level. And y'all gonna have to just pray for me, because it is difficult. It's hard. I don't even think I ever went up against a schizophrenic demon before. Have I? I don't think so. This is new to me. But the Holy Spirit got me, y'all. And for those of you who are dealing with this stuff in your personal life, maybe you're married to somebody who's schizophrenic and double-minded. Maybe you have children with somebody. Maybe you're the caretaker of somebody who struggles with this. Maybe you have a business partner who has this mental illness. The only way that you're going to be able to get through, for those of you who have to deal with people like this, is by way of the Holy Spirit. You're going to have to seek the Lord to give you instructions on how to go about dealing with people like this. Because y'all, I have seen this. I have seen people go up against this spirit, but I don't think I ever had to battle schizophrenia. This is different. This is even more different from autism and bipolar and narcissism. Because, whoo, child. All right, y'all pray for Prophetess Nadidra. It's getting real out here, but God is realer. And I will keep you guys up to date as to how that's going as far as her. Like I said, I do believe that she's having a bit of an episode. It can look different on everybody. And you know, some people, these things can go unnoticed, because people, like I said, they have their careers, they have titles and positions and things like that, and you can overlook it, you know. But thank God for the Holy Spirit. I am going to pray for Ashley. I want you guys to lift Ashley up in prayer, and I also want you guys to pray for this drug addicted neighbor of mine, and pray for me as I continue to go up against this. Like I said, though I'm anointed to go up against certain things, I still need y'all's prayers. I still need the Lord just like everybody else, okay? I am not perfect. I am not Jesus. I'm just a vessel. And it's Prophetess Nadidra, just stopping through with that. Until next time, all right? Peace.